Okay, so in this lesson, we're looking at a completely new topic here. Okay, in this lesson, we're going to have two lines that are called parallel. They're parallel because they will never meet. They're the same distance apart the whole time. So lines G and H are parallel. And then we've got this third line that cuts through both of them. Okay, and that line is called a transversal. Okay, so you need to know that word, transversal. It's a line that cuts through two other parallel lines. Okay. When this happens, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, 8 angles are formed. Okay. 4 up here and 4 down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 angles are formed. Okay. Now, even though only 8 angles are formed, there are only 2 angle sizes that are formed. Like we learned before, for instance, if this one here is 140, we know by vertical angles that the one across from it is also 140. And then we know by supplementary here, because these two add up to 180, that this is 40. And then we also know that this one is 40. So in this first set of 4 angles, there's really only 2 different sizes, 140 and 40. But what's nice is when a transversal cuts 2 parallel lines, the other set of angles is the exact same or identical. So these will be 140, 140, 40, and 40. So it's a nice, neat package. When there's 2 parallel lines cut by a single transversal, 8 angles are formed, but there's only 2 different sizes that each of the angles is, and they're in this nice pattern. Kind of looks like a bow tie, some people say. Okay, so moving to the next page, now we're going to be asked, okay, so this one here, is 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal, and it gives us the measure of one of the angles, 49, and it asks us to find all of the other 7 angles. So in this first example here, this 49, we can see by vertical angles the one right across from it is also 49. Okay. And now if we come down to this picture down here, we'll get these two in a minute, but if we come down to this picture down here, look at these two are the exact same as these two. You got to kind of visually see. Pick this up and put it down here. These two here are the same as these two here. So these are 49 and 49. And then to get these, we've got to use supplementary. So we see that these two add up to 180 degrees. So over here we do 180 minus 49. Okay. And we get 131. So this is 131 degrees, and by vertical angles then so is this. And then down here it's the same 4 in the same arrangement. So this is 131, and this is 131. So now that you know that, pause the video and try numbers 2 and 3. Okay. Now, come to the other side. Okay. New vocabulary word. Corresponding angles. So it's the exact same scenario, but now we're looking at a certain name of a certain pair of angles. Okay. So it says every angle in the one set of 4 has a twin in the other set that is the same size. These twins are called corresponding angles. So we're looking a little bit more specifically here. So we've got parallel lines here, cut by a transversal. And remember, up here there are 4 angles, right? And down here there are 4 angles. But each one of these 4 has a partner down here. So in this case, we're looking at this angle here. The partner angle down in this set is this one. Look, this one's in the upper left corner. And down here in these angles, this one is in the upper left corner. these two are the same size. For instance, if this is 30, so is this. But more specifically, they're in the exact same positions. These are called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Just to give a different version here. See this angle here and this angle down here? Those are also the same size. This one here and this one here. But they are not corresponding angles because they're not in the same position. So this is a vocabulary word that refers to angles that are in the same position in both places. So down here, look, this angle here is in the upper right of this set of four angles. Down here, this angle's also in the upper right, and it's the same size. So this is corresponding, okay? Down here, here's the other set of two. So lower right, and then down here in this set of four, lower right, these two angles are corresponding angles. And here, lower left and lower left. So turn the page, and let's read the directions here. It says, for problems 4 through 6, find the measure of each numbered angle, starting with angle 1 and moving in order. Find each answer using only knowledge of the previous angle in the sequence. Justify each of your answers by stating how the current angle relates to the previous one using mathematical terms. In each, lines A and B are parallel. Okay, so here's how we have to do this. We're given this angle, angle A, okay? And then we first need to find the measure of angle 1, okay? Then once we do that, we're going to use that angle only to find the measure of angle 2. And then once we do that, we're going to use that angle only to find the measure of angle 3. Let me show you what I mean. We have to state the reason each time. So we're going to make a 2-column chart, okay? And we're going to say fact and reason. Okay, so we're going to give a fact and then we're going to give a reason. Okay, so watch. First, we need to find the measure of angle 1. Okay, so we say this, ready? The measure of angle 1 is equal to, and we can do the work on the side. This one is supplementary to this, so we do 180 minus 74, and we get 106, 106 degrees. So we can label it here, but now we say the measure of angle 1 is equal to 106 degrees. Okay, so that's the fact that we know. And this is a new symbol here. This is the angle symbol, angle 1, but a little m in front of it means the measure of angle 1. The measure of angle 1. That means how many degrees it is. So you put that. The measure of angle 1 is 106. That's the fact that we are writing down. Now what's the reason? It's supplementary to A. To angle A. Okay, so we say the fact and then we use a mathematical vocabulary word, supplementary, to describe it. Now that we know 1, now we need to find 2. Okay, and we can only use what we know about 1. So look, we're going to use our new knowledge. See, these are two parallel lines, and this is a transversal here. If you look at these 4 angles, you see them here? Those 4? This angle is in the upper left of those. Now if you look at these 4, angle 2 is in the upper left. So these are actually corresponding angles, and this is the measure of this is 106. So we're going to say that the measure of angle 2 is equal to 106, and the reason is that it is corresponding to angle 1. Okay, so again, we've stated the measure of angle 2, and we've stated why, because it's corresponding to 1. And now we need to find 3, okay? And we can only use the previous one, 2. So you should see here, we can see that that is also 106 because it is vertical to 2. So the measure of angle 3 is equal to 106. And why? Because it's vertical to 2. Okay? And we're done. So we've found all the angle measures. Let's do one more, number 5, and then I'll let you do 6 on your own. Okay, so again, we're given this, and we need to find the angle of 1 first, then 2, then 3, then 4. Okay, so let's make our 2-column chart, facts and reason. And we first need to find the measure of angle 1. So the measure of angle 1 equals, and now think, what's the measure of angle 1? Well, it's 45 degrees because it's right across from here. So it's 45 degrees. And the reason is it's vertical to angle C. Vertical to angle C. Now we need to find the measure of 2. You might want to find 4, but we have to do them in order. So now we need to find the measure of angle 2. So the measure of angle 2 equals, well, this one's 45, okay? Look, in this set of 4, this one's in the upper left, and in this set of 4, this one's in the upper left. These are corresponding angles, so this one's 45 too. So the measure of angle 2 is 45 degrees, and it's by corresponding, it's because it's corresponding to 1, to angle 1, okay? Corresponding to angle 1. Now we need to find 3, and we can see that relationship between 2 and 3. They're supplementary. So we do 180 minus 45, and we get 135. So this one's 135. We state that fact over here. The measure of angle 3 is equal to 135. And why? Because it's supplementary to 2. And lastly, 3 and 4. Okay, so now we need to find the measure of angle 4. And that is also 135 because, again, in this set of angles, this one's in the upper right, and in this set of angles, this one's in the upper right. So it's 135 because it's corresponding to angle 3. Okay, so that's it for the lesson. Try number 6, and then if you have time, more time, start on your homework.